I have spent a whole year in Thailand now and I'm going to go to Sri Lanka soon, but will I return to Thailand? Can I imagine to even settle down here one day? I'm going to talk about this as well as a bunch of other questions that you guys asked me about my time here in Thailand. So let's start right away, and at the end of the video there's going to be a special announcement. What surprised you the most about Thailand? And I can say what surprised me the most was how welcoming and friendly the people are towards me, especially in rural areas, in non-touristic areas. Everywhere where I have been, even if it was just a tiny small village where nobody spoke English, I felt super welcomed by the locals. They were always smiling towards me and just super friendly. And yeah, from my experiences in 2019, I knew that Thai people are very friendly in general and smiling persons. But I didn't expect that to be the same or even more like that in also the rural off the beaten path areas where nobody speaks English. Did you ever get cheated or scammed there? I've just heard it happens a lot to foreigners. I don't know why I get this type of questions so often. I have never been scammed or cheated once. I spent now 1.5 years of my life in Thailand and it never happened to me. So I don't know where that is coming from. I heard about scams, for example, the infamous jet ski scam where you rent out a jet ski on Phuket and then you return it and they tell you, oh, you made these scratches and you never made them. Stuff like that. But yeah, maybe it happens in these super touristy areas like Patong Beach in Phuket or the super popular areas in Bangkok, I don't know, but personally for me, 1.5 years, never got scammed, never got cheated. Thais are really honest and friendly towards me all the time. How difficult is it to travel the less touristy areas with no Thai language skills? Great question. You saw me traveling all over Thailand, especially also in rural areas where not many tourists travel to, and I can 100% tell you, go for it even if you don't speak Thai. You know me, I speak Nit Noi Thai, like I can order food in Thai and I can say hello and thank you, stuff like that, but not really that much. And the people in rural areas in Thailand don't really speak much English, but it never was a problem for me. And I never expect people to speak English around here, so it was never a problem for me. But yeah, I mean, when you go to a restaurant, they kind of know what you want, right? And you can show something on the menu, or you can just use Google Translate to help you out in some situations, communicate with your hands, and yeah, just smile and say hello in Thai. That usually helps if you can speak like 2, 3, 4 words in Thai. That makes you make a better impression as a foreigner in the country. So learn a few words of Thai and then use pictures on your phone, use Google Translate, and communicate with hands, and that has never been a problem for me, so definitely go for it. And yeah, should we wait to travel until Thailand is fully open, or is it better in there without much tourists? And I would 100% say if you have the chance to come to Thailand now, then come now before it will be super crowded with tourists again. And I think that maybe in a few months, maybe in 1 year, when the borders will be fully open again, there will be a lot of tourists coming to Thailand. All the people that are now waiting at home, don't want to go to Thailand because of the still ongoing restrictions, etc., will come back as soon as it's fully open. So I think it will be totally overrun by the time everything will be normal again, which is great for the local businesses, definitely. But if you have the chance to come to Thailand now, make use of it. Do you use a VPN service in Thailand, and if yes, can you recommend one? Yes, I do use VPNs a lot actually, and in case you don't know what's a VPN, it stands for Virtual Private Network, and it lets you change the location of your phone or your laptop to anywhere in the world. And that is quite useful actually, especially as a traveler, because many different websites, YouTube for example, have different content available based on the country that you are in. For example, I am a huge football fan and I love to watch the highlights of the German Bundesliga, and there are some YouTube channels from German television that are showing the highlights every weekend, but you can only watch the videos when you are in Germany, and that has something to do with the usage rights of the footage from the German Bundesliga. So when I am in Thailand, I can't watch the highlights, but when I use a VPN service to change the location of my phone or my laptop to Germany, I can then watch the Bundesliga highlights on YouTube. And the same goes for Netflix. The movies that are available on Netflix are different in each country. So when I am in Thailand, I can't watch the German version of Netflix, so I'm changing the location using a VPN in order to be able to watch the German movies or the German version of Netflix as well while being in Thailand. And a VPN also protects my data. Being a traveler, I use a lot of public Wi-Fis, hotel Wi-Fis, of which I'm not always sure how safe they are. And by connecting to a VPN service that protects my data by encrypting it, I feel definitely more safe, especially when doing things like online banking. And if you need a good VPN service, I have an awesome deal for you. I partner it up together with Surfshark VPN, which is the VPN service that I am using. And if you use the link in my description, you can get 83% off plus 3 extra months for free at Surfshark by using the promo code KEN. And they also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so absolutely no risk checking it out. Link is in the description. And then your top 10 of Thailand food, top 10 must visit, not touristic, off the beaten path, amazing places. 10 is a huge number, let's bring it down to 3. My top 3 foods in Thailand: Pad See Ew, Khao Kamo, which is stewed pork leg, and Pad Kapao. These 3 dishes I think will also be the ones that I will miss the most when I leave Thailand. And yeah, top 3 amazing off the beaten path places. I would say the Phu Chi Pha and Doi Pha Thang area in the Chiang Rai province in northern Thailand. One of my favorite places of all time, not only in Thailand. Beautiful mountain area. Then I'm going with Koh Koot Island in eastern Thailand, which is less known than the popular islands in southern Thailand, but also a super beautiful place. And number 3, I'm going with the microwave village in the Mae Hong Son province, along the Mae Hong Son loop, off the beaten path, very small, tiny village, high in the mountains. Just the journey to get there is amazing, and super awesomely friendly people there. So definitely worth checking out. Why did you choose Thailand? First of all, I chose Thailand for the first time in early 2019, so 3 years ago. By that time, I was not on YouTube yet. I was looking for a place where I can make my exchange semester for my final master semester. And I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to leave my comfort zone, go to a place where I have never been to before. And Asia was that place. And I knew Asia is totally different from what I'm used to at home. So I wanted this challenge. I wanted to leave my comfort zone. And then I made the decision quite exactly 3 years ago, early 2019, I remember, to go to Bangkok. And now 3 years later, I fell in love with Southeast Asia and I'm still here. Compacting your 1 year to 1 month. Which route would you recommend in Thailand with a tight budget? It's definitely not possible to see all around Thailand in just 1 month. So if you only have 1 month, I would recommend to either choose if you want to go for islands and beaches. So then I would recommend the eastern Thailand islands or southern Thailand. Or if you would rather go and see mountain areas and mountain sceneries, then I would recommend, well, if you have a month, I would say go to Chiang Mai for about 5 days, then drive the Mae Hong Son loop for about 7 to 10 days, and then spend the remaining time in Chiang Rai. There you can explore so many beautiful areas: Phu Chi Pha, Doi Pha Thang, the border areas along the Mekong River, the Golden Triangle, Chiang Rai town. So 1 month, that would be my suggested route. And yeah, that also leads to the next question: which part of Thailand is your favorite and why? And I have to say, for traveling purposes, Chiang Rai province up in the north, the northernmost province in Thailand, was my favorite because the province has so much to offer within a short distance. You have Chiang Rai town, which is basically in the center, which is a cozy, lovely, small little Thai town with beautiful temples, one of the most, or 2 of the most beautiful temples I have seen in Thailand, the famous Right Temple and the Blue Temple. And then from there you can explore Phu Chi Pha, Doi Pha Thang, beautiful mountain areas. You can ride along the Mekong River, beautiful towns all along, lovely cozy towns with an authentic Thai vibe. The beautiful Mekong River, you have the Golden Triangle, you have Thailand's northernmost town, Mae Sai, right on the border to Myanmar. You have Mae Salong, which is another mountain village with an interesting Chinese history. So there's a lot to explore in Chiang Rai. So for traveling purposes, I would say Chiang Rai is my favorite province. But for living purposes, I would definitely choose Bangkok, which would be my favorite city to live in. And yeah, that also brings me to the main topic of the video. Will I return to Thailand? Can I imagine to settle down there one day even? And definitely I will return to Thailand. And yes, I can also imagine to settle down there one day. As I just said before, my favorite place to live in Thailand would be Bangkok. And not only in Thailand, this is my favorite place to live in the whole world. Bangkok is by far my favorite city in the whole world. And yeah, I'm saying this now, early 2022, maybe in 3-4 years, I will think different, but as of it right now, I would choose Bangkok to settle down one day. But I'm not feeling ready to settle down yet. You know, I have huge plans with the YouTube channel. I want to visit every country in Southeast Asia and the surrounding neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, Japan, Korea, China. So yeah, we will continue to travel here on the channel for the next years. I will bring you along the whole journey, but maybe in 4-5 years when I feel ready to settle down, then I will definitely choose Bangkok as of it right now. I can't judge over other cities that I haven't seen yet. Maybe I will fall in love with Jakarta, with Manila, with Saigon, or with a totally different part of the world. I don't know, but now I would choose Bangkok to settle down one day. Because yeah, it's my favorite city in the world. There's so much going on. You always have things to do. The food choices are amazing. The people are friendly. I love Bangkok, and yeah, I will return. Also, like in the next years when traveling will be easier, the borders will be fully open again. I can imagine to maybe make Bangkok a little Southeast Asian hub for me. Return here maybe 2 times a year, and then from there on continue to travel around Southeast Asia. So I'm not leaving Thailand for good. I will return definitely 100% and maybe even settle down in Thailand one day. Who knows? Then another question, what is your favorite Thai sentence? Tini view tong nai swai tesut kap. That is my favorite sentence. That means where can I find, or where is the most beautiful view? A sentence that I used a lot while traveling around northern Thailand. And then a question I also get a lot actually, asking about, do I ever feel homesick or having the need to settle down? Normally I don't feel homesick, but I also plan to go visit my family and friends this year in Germany. Hopefully I will be able to do with all the COVID situation, but yeah, I haven't been home for almost 2.5 years now. So yeah, I would like to go home, but maybe 2-3 weeks and then returning to Southeast Asia. So in general, I don't really feel homesick. And also in these days, it's easy to communicate. Like I'm on WhatsApp with my mom. I speak a lot with my dad, with my friends. So it's easy in these days to stay in contact, right? And the need to settle down. Sometimes I feel, or sometimes I miss having like a fixed place where I live and having a routine, like going to the gym, eating good food from places that I know. So sometimes I miss having like a weekly or daily routine. But on the other hand, I love traveling. I love exploring new places. I love challenging myself with leaving my comfort zone. So I don't really feel the need of settling down now. But I think in the future, in 3, 4, 5 years, I would love to settle down in one place again. And yeah, as I said before, maybe that place is going to be Bangkok then. And then also an interesting question, basically asking, have I grown as a traveler during the past 2 years? Definitely, not only because of COVID. Of course, traveling full-time during COVID was more challenging, or even more challenging than it is in normal times, with all the upcoming restrictions and things changing from one week to another. And I don't know how many lockdowns I have made now. I think 2 in Malaysia and 1.5 in Thailand now. So yeah, I'm actually sick of traveling in COVID times, but it is as it is. I can't change it, so I'm trying to adjust to it. But yeah, also of course you grow, especially when you travel solo for so long. You grow so much as a person, and I think I am very a different person than I was 2 years ago in a good way. I grew so much as a person. My mindset grew so much. I am now more able to use my problem solving skills, because as a solo traveler you have to make use a lot of your problem solving skills, because you have to face everyday challenging situations that are just coming up when you travel solo, and because you have to challenge that all by yourself again and again and again, you grow so much as a person. So I can definitely recommend traveling solo in order to grow as a person, leave your comfort zone, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to regret it. I never regretted starting solo traveling in Southeast Asia. Alright, and before we come to the special announcement, excuse me if I haven't answered your question. I got over 70 questions on Instagram and on YouTube, so excuse me if I haven't answered your one. And yeah, the announcement is I wrote a Thailand travel guide ebook with over 100 pages full with useful and helpful information about Thailand, traveling tips, over 250 Google Maps links to locations all over Thailand, hotels, restaurants, viewpoints, temples, motorbike rental shops, everything I can recommend. This book will be released together with my next video in a few days, which by the way will also be my final video from Thailand. So make sure you are coming back for that video and to check out the travel guide. Stay healthy, stay positive, and then see you on the next episode. Ciao guys.